Hey, Netflix Goddess here, and that's my phone. I want to talk about the first movie in my 31 Days of Horror series I've got going on here. Actually, I'm calling it Halloween Video Choice, which is an in-joke between my sister and I about a Walgreens ad from, oh my goodness, we must have both been in high school, that said you could get your Halloween video choice if you came to Walgreens. We go to one Walgreens, there's a selection of 5 video cassettes. We didn't want any of them. So then we walked like 4 blocks to another Walgreens. Still not a very impressive Halloween video choice. So, yeah. That is why I call it this, because we still talk about that every October, about getting our Halloween video choice. But the choices I'm going to give you are twofold. I'm going to talk about DVD selections, and I'm also going to talk about Netflix streaming options. And when I put up this first movie, actually when I made my list last October that I was looking at, for this October, almost none of those movies are on streaming anymore. So I do have some on DVD, and I think I'm going to do a bigger DVD post this weekend about movies, to check out this month. And for the rest of the week, it's strictly going to be streaming choices. So I'm going to talk about a streaming choice and a DVD choice. So the one I posted about on Instagram today was this one, An American Werewolf in London. One of my favorite horror movies of all time. I'm going to pop it in actually after I start talking to you guys to edit this video. But I happened to pick this up. It was $5 and it was a really great deal because it's a collector's edition, but it has a lot of special features. A making of featurette, commentary with David Naughton and Griffin Dunne, an interview with John Landis, makeup talk with Rick Baker, who won an Academy Award for the makeup in this movie. Griffin Dunne is kind of tore up in a lot of it. And that looked spectacular. It was really gory and real looking. But the real deal was when David Naughton turns into a werewolf. It is unreal, and that's what got him the Academy Award. So there's also outtakes, storyboards, photo montage, just a bunch of other stuff. So if you don't know the story of this movie, 2 Americans, young Americans, are backpacking through Europe, and they're on the moors, and there's just land, maybe a farm, then more land, and a tavern, then a farm, then more land. So it's just nothing. So they're basically hitchhiking, and walking through the moors. So of course it's starting to get dark. They haven't really timed things out correctly, so they're kind of trapped. So it's cold, it's rainy, they see a tavern. So they go over to the tavern. Everybody inside the tavern is acting weird and kind of sketchy. And the reason they're acting so weird and sketchy, though, is because it is a full moon that night. So you really don't want to be out on the moors. But they don't tell them that. There's a pentagram on the wall, and everybody's acting weird. So they just leave. There's a discussion in the bar about whether or not they should chase them or not. And while that's going on in the bar, outside of the bar, they're attacked by a werewolf. David Naughton, who is the star, and then Griffin Dunne, who is his friend, are both attacked by a wolf, but it turns out to be a werewolf. So Griffin Dunne is just basically almost ripped to shreds. David Naughton takes off running, then he decides to go back and help his friend. The wolf attacks him, but then some shots ring out. The people come out of the tavern to help them. And what transpires over the rest of the movie is David Naughton discovering that he is a werewolf, in the worst possible way. But it's just, this movie is so good. I mean, if you have not seen it, you definitely need to see it. If you like horror movies at all, if you love werewolf movies, you have to see it. I mean, the transformation is the best werewolf transformation on film. Just still today. And even today, what would probably happen is they probably do some CG crap instead of the practical makeup effects that he uses in this. Just nothing compares to the werewolf transformation in this. But the movie is funny and scary, which is really hard to do, but John Landis pulls it off. You need to catch this one. So this is one of my Halloween favorites. So the second one I want to talk about today is called The Shrine. Now, the poster for this movie is over here on the side. I hope I'm pointing in the right direction, but it is the poster that sucked me in, and I am always wary about that because I'm always getting sucked in because of a poster. But this is one instance where it paid off. And the only reason I watched it is because Netflix, when they started their new thing with showing you suggestions based on what you're looking at, and horror suggestions, like, this is a movie that kept coming up, and you gotta admit, I mean, look at that poster. What is that on her face? Why is she bleeding? I mean, there's so many questions, and it looks really creepy. And I've gotten sucked in before from fantastic posters, and the movies are horrible, horrible garbage. But this is not a case of that. This movie is about a journalist, and she published some stuff she really wasn't supposed to. So she kind of gets in trouble with her editor, and she gets stuck with all these just crap filler stories. She wants to get off of that beat and get back on the front page. And so she hears about this story about these missing kids that have been backpacking through Poland, and they go missing. So she goes to one of the kids. Well, they're not kids, they're college students. So she goes to one of their houses, talks with the mom, finds out about where he was and that type of stuff. Lies to her editor about the story she's doing. Ends up dragging an assistant along. And her boyfriend. She doesn't really tell them what the deal is and really what's going on and why she's there. So they're already in Poland once, you know, she has to spill the beans and tell them what's going on. But the story is about them finding out why these boys disappeared. This movie is so good. You will be so surprised. Because you know how hard it is to find, like, good horror stuff on Netflix. I mean, it is. It's a total crapshoot. So this is one instance where I was very, very pleasantly surprised. There are gory scares, jump scares, some stuff you have not seen before, a storyline I had never even thought, you know, that could exist, and a surprise ending. You're not going to see this ending coming. It's going to shock you. I really enjoyed this movie. And I'm always looking for some new horror. I'm looking for stuff that has a twist on, you know, something different, something I haven't seen before. And that's what this is. So you definitely want to check it out. So I'm going to put the link to its Netflix page below. And what'll happen is if you're logged into your Netflix account, it'll take you right to the page for this movie, and then you can watch it. But if you are not, you don't have Netflix, I will also put the Wikipedia page for both An American Werewolf in London and The Shrine below, so you can read a little more about them and decide how you should proceed. So I hope that your first day of October was sufficiently spooky. I want to have this up before the first day of October is over, and I'm going to do tomorrow's video as well. I hope your October is very horror movie filled, and you get to enjoy every minute of it. So thanks for watching this. Leave a comment below if you've seen either of these movies, if you're going to watch them. If you're not going to watch them, just tell me why. Talk to you later. Bye.